Giving birth on mammals can be a wonderful moment, but sometimes it can also turn into a life-threatening situation. On a cold January morning in 2022, our cow 5513 got into a difficult situation. Most of our cows are pregnant, and every few days new calves show up. For many of them, this is the second time. There had been problems with very large male calves, but this time everything seems to be okay. Until we had the issue with 5513. When cows are about to give birth, they separate themselves from the herd. They find a quiet spot and try to push the calf out. Juan and Juan are observing from the distance. As it became clear that she is unable to push the calf out, we decided to provide some help. These cows are beef cows, and they are not used to being handled by a human, and so they move away when you try to approach them. That is different than a milk cow. Eventually, the guys remembered that we do have two lassos, and with that rope, it was fairly easy to catch her. We also have a tool that is specially made to help the cow push the calf out without hurting any of them, and Angel is preparing the use of that.
È grandissimo.
The calf is alive, but very big.
Está respirando y todo, el becerro. Parece que es grandísimo.
Es muy grande. Es muy grande.
Two ropes need to be attached to the legs so that with the help of the bar that we will see in a second, the operator can help the mother push the calf out.
Se escurre, esta cola se escurre.
Hay que mantenerla tensa.
¿Corto?
Corta.
Sujeta aquí con una mano nomás, así. Nada más que para que no pierda la fuerza. Chicas,
Ahora te llega la otra, no te llega. Aquí se cumple el refrán, dice, eso no es un chiquillo, eso es un becerro. Pues aquí esto sí es un becerro, más cabrón. Por eso se van a hinchar las ruedas ahí, ¿sabes? Me parece que son los de Isidoro.
Ay.
En las contracciones aproveche cuando la vaca aprieta.
Every time the cow pushes, the human helps, and then avoids the cow slipping back in with the help of the spar and the ropes. In order to avoid damage to the birth channel, it is important to push the bar down.
Ya les he echado de la cadera.
I also should mention that this is our first time. The past time we had this issue, the veterinarian did it. And of course has a lot more practice. But it looks good.
Algo ha sonado.
¿A ver el hocico?
Sí, te ir respirando.
Sí, está el hocico, pero...
Límpiaselo.
Juan says, yes, the calf is breathing.
No sé si es que se ha descajado de la escalera o...
Tírale, Juan. Voy a dejar el móvil, ¿no? Y voy a...
The guys decided to stop filming, and as you can see, they were successful. The calf is halfway out. Male calves tend to be very big, and too big for the birth canal if the cow hasn't given birth a few times already. Unfortunately, after the calf was out, the whole uterus also came out. So we called one of the veterinarians that we know in this area, and about 40 minutes later, Francisco was here to help this cow. A cow is a big and heavy animal, so the guys are using the excavator of the backhoe to keep her in the right position. That then allows Francisco to put the uterus and all the bits and pieces that belong to it back into place. What follows doesn't really look like a delicate medical procedure, but this is the way it's being done for these big animals. Everything gets cleaned and untangled in order to avoid another problem in the future. And now the difficult task of putting it back in begins. Francisco is a very engaged veterinarian here in this area. He is a specialist for this kind of things. He also frequently gets called to do a C-section for cows that have other birthing problems. We are very grateful for his quick response and professional service that he provided this day. Thank you, Francisco. So I just came up here to check on her. That is the cow that had an issue this morning while giving birth. And I found her standing here alone. Nowhere is the calf to be seen. I will now search for him. But we already know that the calf probably got damaged in the process and will probably not survive. But she's on her 4 feet, which is a good thing. It's the problem with male calves that are too big. And this one had the same issue the last time. And you might say, you need to manage that. Yes, that is correct, and we want to. But that requires a little bit more infrastructure than we have. Because you cannot simply put an animal like this into a hospital room. You have to have other types of infrastructure, and they need to be fed, and that is a larger issue. It's not so simple. It is simple eventually, but we are in the middle of something still, and we have some ideas how to do this, but we are not there yet. But probably by the end of the summer we will have discovered. So I found the calf. The mother is some 150-200 meters away. I will now get closer to see what's what, but the guys already told me it's not looking good. So here the little guy is, and as you were able to see, he seems to be cold, and as the guys told me, they were able to give him a little bit the first drink of milk, but has not been drinking milk for real. So that's a problem. There's something at the head that does not look normal. So there might be some damage. Looks like I managed to show her where her child is. So now the chances are a little bit better. Now I have to say, I can now talk about our Spanish problem. And it is very unfortunately, and I hate to talk about this. So it is past 3 o'clock. That means the workday is over. And all the guys left because they have been here since 8:30 in the morning. They have done everything. We had a vet here, so that's all fine. But now the issue is they have to go to their homes to have lunch, and later there's siesta, and nobody will come back until tomorrow morning 8:30. So that means there's nobody around except me, and nobody can attend whatever will now happen. So elsewhere there is a shift in the morning, a shift in the afternoon, and there's lunch at midday, but that is not the case in Spain. And there is no easy way around this, because that big lunch and the siesta part is an integral part of the culture here. And in the very, very, very past, the Spanish cowboys, the vaqueros, and all the other people taking care of animals, they would have spent the whole day living outside in the countryside, outside of the village. So they would have slept a little bit after the lunch and all this, but there would always be someone around. In modern times, that is not the case anymore. So you can see that there's a cultural dimension to this whole problem, why there are so many issues with the land. It's because the people have left for another way of life, and also left for other locations. So there's this phenomenon of the emptied Spain, as in it has been emptied, and now things are completely different. So I can only describe how it is. I don't have a solution, and we will see. We have to work with and around what I just described. She has been licking the calf, and she's also calling it. You probably could hear. But the little one needs to get up on his feet and start drinking milk. There isn't really anything that I can do. I got them together, and now it's up to her and him but then I also have to admit that this is something that happens all the time. It's just bad luck. But then as a human, we always like to help. And I wonder what happens with all the cows giving birth and those huge, farm is not really the term. So in Spain it's called finca, and finca means a piece of land. And they are 300, 500 hectares in size. There's only a perimeter fence, and there isn't really anybody being present. They come and check every few days, and that's about it. So I would assume that this nobody will really notice. And I know that the veterinarians are being called to help in cases. They also do C-sections a lot on cows, but it's mostly with cows that are kept in different conditions, probably. I really don't know. I have to ask. I know that for milk cows they do a lot of things, but this is milk cow. Not milk cow, this is beef. So it might very well be that a lot of people simply don't care that much. It just happens. So I'm unsure. So I'm asking questions. It's not that I'm telling you something. So I talked to the vet a couple of minutes ago, and he said try to get her close to him. That's it. And hopefully he gets up and drinks milk. And that's about it. She has a lot of milk. It's clearly visible. And if he does not manage to drink milk, he will probably not survive the frost at night. Because currently we are in this cold spell, which means in the early morning, shortly before sunrise, we have freezing temperatures. Right now, it is warm, like 13, 14 degrees centigrade in the shade. And if you are in the sun, it really feels nice. But there will be frost later at night. The next morning, when the guys came back at 8:30, first they went up there to check on this pair. So right there in the distance, this is some 200 meters away, there is the cow and the male calf. I will now get closer to have a better look. But the guys already told me, and I believe I will be able to show a few pictures from the early morning here that they took on their phones, that the calf has drank milk, and that is the important part. I assume it is resting now, so let's go closer and have a better look. So it appears that there will be no loss. Had been difficult, but as cow and calf are okay, and they survived the night with temperatures below freezing, so I would think that this is ending up very well. And we also provided them some straw and some alfalfa pellets, and the guys also brought buckets with water for the mother. So we continue to do this, and then a little while later they can join the herd again. Food truck is arriving. There they are. Looks like Mama cow has been waiting for her alfalfa pellets. So it appears Mama cow laid down here where the straw is and where we will now provide water and the alfalfa pellets. But her kid is left somewhere over there. There we have it. But heads up, so that's a good sign. We will go there over in a second.
How I feel this must be a on the daily benches. Look at the little one, two little girl. So she's rude than me. Come on, we're going to your mother. Come on.
This little one, apparently, is now very human-oriented. He is looking for milk, but I don't have milk. Mama is over there.
Okay, so. See?
I think I can now safely say that this bull calf is definitely a determined little guy, and they seem to be both out of the woods. So this is ending very well, and we can be grateful for that. So thank you for watching until here. I will leave you now and come back in a few days for another video from Granja Caimito. See you, bye bye.